Just like a long bike ride, this game is a journey. There's times where you're stuck in traffic, you pop a tire, the hotel has no available rooms, but once you hit the open road and just gun it, all that other stuff fades away. Days Gone is a big game, and at first it feels just like every other open world zombie game out there. It feels like things were put into this game just to be there. Like there was this big open world checklist that had to be implemented into the game just because. The story starts off as a slow burn. You're doing things for these camp leaders that don't really have any interest or personality to them. But the gunplay feels good, and this world is still so fresh and new that riding around and doing busy work is enjoyable. The story missions offer a lot of gameplay diversity, but the world has some optional repetitive things for you to do. The big ones being burning zombie nests and clearing out enemy camps. And this game calls zombies freakers, and I'll talk more about that later. But burning these freaker nests really became a chore. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't look forward to doing it. Every nest burning segment played exactly the same. I often found the freaker AI frustrating because it didn't seem to matter if you're completely hidden in cover. If you use any throwable items, they could pinpoint your location. And the other thing is clearing out enemy camps known as ambush camps. This task was more enjoyable for me. You could go in stealth with the crossbow and your knife, or loud with assault rifles and explosives. I would often try only for headshots, just for a little extra challenge. But once you move on from the first area further down the map, the game story begins to really shine. You arrive at a third camp and become entwined in the camp's struggles and politics. As you help the several camps in this game, you gain trust and money. The higher the trust, the better things you can buy, such as weapons and, most importantly, your bike. Every vendor you interact with will carry a conversation with you, often about your past history with them or even current events happening in the game. It's a small feature, but it was impressive. And it's at this third camp where the game story begins to evolve from a generic open world zombie game into a compelling and enthralling story. This game's biggest problem is structure. This includes pacing. Once you get to this third camp, it begins to gain consistency, but getting to that point is rough, and it will turn a lot of people away. Now that I've completed it, I can break this game down to 3 major story chunks. It almost has the structure of an episodic game, with several separate story arcs that ultimately build the entire story. This game doesn't really have a definitive plot. Sure, you have a goal, but it's not a simple A to B mission. I would go as far to say this game isn't plot driven, but character driven. It's not a story told in a traditional gaming way, and that's something that's very special about it. A lot of people often refer to some games as it's just like playing a movie, but this game is like playing through a series with multiple seasons. There is just so much story here that it's impressive. But not everything is equally as impressive. This game had its share of visual bugs, but its performance in certain areas was really rough. By riding through some camps or by hordes of freakers, this game chugs way down. And this game perhaps has the slowest frame rate I've ever seen on any game on the PlayStation 4 at times. There were also a few things that bugged me narratively. Everything in this game ends with ER. You got your freaker, your drifter, your ripper, your rager, your reacher, your flyer, your swarmer, and I just wish there was a little more creativity in naming many of this world's enemies. I always like it when different groups or factions use different names for things in these post-apocalyptic worlds. But here it's like everyone met up to agree on what everything needed to be called. You might call that a nitpick, but it felt like they took the easy option at naming things when it could have been so much better. I also had a big problem with some of the button locations on the controller. The heal button is on the left D-pad above the left joystick. This is the joystick you use to move your character. So if you're running away for something, or God forbid get attacked by those stupid wolves, you have to take your finger off the joystick, stopping your character completely from moving to heal. Once your character stopped, you're open to be shot or hit or attacked, taking away that health that you just regained, then you gotta do it all over again. It's frustrating. I found I would have to take my right hand completely off the controller to reach over and hit the left D-pad as to keep my left thumb on the joystick to keep me moving. It seems crazy, right? But all that is nothing compared to fighting hordes. Oh, I hated fighting hordes. A horde is a giant group of 100 plus freakers that you have to eradicate. If it was an optional thing, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but by the end of the game, you have to wipe out multiple hordes back to back to progress through the story. It's simply lazy game design to ramp up difficulty, and it's just downright BS. They take too long, they're extremely stressful, and not in the fun way. They made me want to break my controller and turn off the PlayStation. Everything about wiping out these hordes is tedious and I hate it. They aren't fun, they aren't rewarding, they're incredibly challenging, and I'm glad I never have to do it again. But once you get past doing all that, you're in for an epic ride until the end. There were many places where this game could have wrapped up its story and rolled the credits. But it just kept going. It kept giving you more, and in the end built up these incredible characters that I think I will be thinking about for a long while. This game gave you the time to really live with these people, giving you an appreciation for these characters that is rarely found in the medium of games. There were times where I was smiling like a proud friend, times where I was cheering like my team just won the Super Bowl, and times where my jaw dropped in shock. This game delivered something truly special with its narrative focus and delivery. All the actors in this game gave incredible performances that felt alive and honest. I feel appreciation for this game will grow over time. I mean, I knew I was scared off by the mixed reviews, but boy am I glad I decided to give it a chance. And I hope you do too, because Days Gone is one hell of a ride. See what I did? Because they're bikers.